Welcome to the challenge round. Here's the breakdown. The first competitor, standing 5 feet 5 inches, weighing 190 pounds, Freddy Ortiz. And his opponent, standing 5 feet 7 inches, weighing 208 pounds, Larry Scott. And we begin with somewhat of a front relax pose. In this replacement for the front relax pose, I'm going to lean towards Larry Scott. I will say right out of the chute that it was pretty difficult to find any of the 8 mandatory poses of either of these two guys. So we're pretty much going to have to neglect the rules of the challenge round and go with what we have. But anyway, Larry Scott scores a victory in this. You know, my first initial reaction was to vote for Freddy Ortiz with that massive arm. Looks like a little beast. But the proportions are definitely going towards Larry Scott here. And the aesthetics are definitely scoring him a victory here in the first position. But let's head into the first pose, the front double bicep. And Freddy Ortiz gets one back here in the front double bicep. Without a doubt, his structure is impossible for Larry Scott to combat against. With a tiny little wee waist and massive arms. Ortiz actually is maybe scoring ahead in the lag department here. Maybe not. I don't know. Either way, he's definitely scoring a point here in the front double bicep. Now let's have a look at the single front bicep. This is a very difficult decision for me to make here in this single arm bicep. I am going to lean slightly towards Larry Scott. And when I mean slightly, it's just a half point, which really means it could go either way. It's abs versus a vacuum here, and pretty much take your pick. And just impossible for me to really make a decisive vote. Like I said, Larry Scott has an edge in the lag department, so I'm just going to lean slightly towards Scott, so he gets a half point. Now let's have a look at the front lat spread. And it looks like Freddy Ortiz is going to pick himself up an easy point here in the front lat spread. There's just no way that Larry Scott can combat against Freddy Ortiz in this front lat spread, much like the front double bicep. He just doesn't have the waist for it. But anyway, we're not going to pick apart Larry Scott too much. Let's have these gentlemen turn around and snap a rear double bicep pose. This was a fairly close one in my opinion. As far as the back was concerned, I figured that the V-taper was going to take this. But I won't be fooled by Freddy Ortiz. I can see that he's tilted quite severely here to make his waist look even smaller than it already is. When I actually look at the back detail and development, Larry Scott's actually edging out a slight victory here. And when I look at the lag department, it's without a doubt that Larry Scott definitely gets a full point in this one. But anyway, let's have a look at another sort of a classical pose. And it looks like we get ourselves a good little back and forth battle as Freddy Ortiz takes this one. I will say Larry Scott's lag development has pretty much edged out victories in all of these poses. But I don't think that's enough to combat against the just massive beast-like arms here of Freddy Ortiz. But anyway, it's pretty much all tied up here with Freddy Ortiz leading by just a half a point. And unfortunately, due to lack of poses of each guy, we're going to have to break challenge round tradition and actually make this last final pose going to be a side tricep versus a side chest pose. And whatever one of these impresses me the most, I guess, is going to be the winner. And like I said, this was a very difficult challenge round to find pictures of. Of course, the older it is, more rare the pictures are. But in this one, I'm going to lean towards Freddy Ortiz and this just very impressive side chest pose. Although, in Larry Scott's credit here, he has an outstanding, and I mean outstanding, side tricep pose. It's a very complete arm here with the forearm, tricep, bicep, and the shoulders especially. But anyway, the winner of this challenge round is Freddy Ortiz. Freddy Ortiz now awaits a challenge of another challenge round winner to do battle in the Gladiator round.